Go live. Let's close this. Reopen that. Is it working? It is working. Oh my god. Let's not do that. And there it is. Nice. Okay, so today we have a Civic. We're going to be doing everything with a windshield strip. We're going to be doing it in carbon.
That's how the notifications look on Android.
Oh, that's right. It's weird that it showed from Tintly on iOS.
What's that?
Or was that a new one, or?
No, this is from 1017.
Oh. Oh, so it must be something with iOS. Because that's correct. That's so nice. Name, vehicle, and as long as it doesn't take up too much space, service. Just everything is then easier to reference. Wow, that's like the same window almost 3 times. That's confusing. New version. Python script. Yeah, so we have a Python script running for changing cameras. Oops. Stop. Activate. Look. There we go. Now that's working. Good morning. Camera 3. So we can do that. It doesn't always work, but sometimes it works. And when it works, it's nice. Camera 1. It's funny because Mac has voice commands built into it, but I ran into this issue where it crashes OBS if it's running. So I searched and searched and searched, and the only way to make this actually work was to have Gemini make a Python script. And now it works. Oops, we gotta turn off the air and the headlights. Perfect. Are the lights off up front? Why? Did he turn off the lights? Oh. Yeah, they were on. Getting my truck tinted Friday in Autobahn I3. Nice. Oh, why did I do? Oh, no, I did tape that one. Okay. I'm not crazy. Just a little crazy. That's cool. Enjoy. Have you tried working with meta glasses? Yeah, they're cool. They just don't live stream. And I got to get a pair with a prescription. So I bought them just to test out, but at the time they had only like a minute of video recording and the battery died super fast. The newer ones, they have like a 3-minute recording time. Battery still dies pretty fast though. But they are very cool. Really good for recording clips. Why not tape the top? There's not really a point. The tint's never touching the top. So wherever the tint is touching, that's where I'm gonna put some tape. It's mainly just to keep the water from dragging any dirt that might be in the seal back into it. But if you want to be like extra cautious, you could. Whoa, I got a watch notification. I didn't know it does watches yet. Oh shit.
It's the same one. It's the same call.
Oh, nice. Here, I'll leave that with you while I'm live. That's the web thing? That's cool. We have a tape called Seal Guard. I'm getting 15 all around and 35 on the windshield. That's probably my favorite. It's gonna look good. Any tape, there's guys that use all types of tapes. I find this tape works the best, and then one that works really well is house wrap tapes. So like Civic, or you can get one from Lowe's. Painters will work, but water seeps in and makes it just kind of fall off. Is 15 dark enough? It depends on the person. Okay, so we're doing 5 on this one. I'll grab a short roll just in case. Oh, I don't have a short roll of 5. Oh, okay. 15's super nice. The jump to 5 is kind of dramatic though. It would be really nice if a 10% was more popular. A couple people have those. Thinking of switching to Geo, is Apex worth the cost over Pro Ceramic? I wouldn't just look at it that way. I would carry a couple. So like, yes, it's worth the cost, but I wouldn't only carry one and not the other. I would pick Pro Nano or C2 and then have Apex as an upgrade. That's what we do here. We have C2, carbon, ceramic, and then we have Apex as our top. I want that limo look. Will 15 and 35 give that? If you, depends on the vehicle. If you squat down and look through the windows, you're gonna be able to see silhouettes of people. They're gonna be harder to see overall, but you still will be able to see shapes of people. With 5, there's a lot less of that. So if I'm looking into the cabin like this, and I have dark seats, everything's tinted, it's gonna look very dark. It's when you're like looking at it a lot and you kind of get down on the side and stuff like that, that's when you're gonna be able to see in a little bit more perspective. For Apex, if we're not doing the windshield, we're $450 on all the sides and the rear. Thoughts on high tech and people switching to it? Oh, everybody's got their wave. Geo has one, Tint Club, High Tech, Rogue. They all like are gonna have their up and down waves of popularity. I don't have a lot to say about any of them in particular. Like, it's always worth, if you're interested in a film, it's always worth checking it out and seeing if it fits in your business. But, I mean, this goes for Geo and anybody else. Like, anybody that's carrying a really good film that you're using, seeing hype for another brand, hype's usually overhyped. There's just always trade-offs with every different company and film brand. And there's a lot of really good choices. Handful of years ago, that used to not be the case. Like, there were still really good films, but a lot of them were locked down to more traditional, like, set up an account, established business, minimums, territories, that kind of stuff. It's frustrating. Why hand cut the doors versus plotter cutting them? I like both. It's just long time habit with the doors. I like the fit that I get out of hand cutting and the guarantee that it's gonna fit versus taking a chance sometimes on a plotter. So if I'm not like in a hurry, which I'm usually not, I'll typically just hand cut the doors more than I will plotter cut them. Just starting out tinting, what's your recommendation on a good quality entry brand? I mean, I recommend what I like. And I like using Geo. So they always get my biggest recommendation. There's a lot of positive talk about the some other less expensive films. But unless I'm gonna like live with one of those brands for an extended period of time, there's not much in particular I can say for just like grabbing a roll and trying it. I wish there was. Expella's marketing, crazy money. Oh yeah, they got a huge marketing budget. That's why a consumer is actually going to bring them up. It's hard to break into that too. That's why their films cost more. What's your take on Autobahn? I've never used them personally. Mark has. They're definitely a good film brand. More territory and dealer focused that way. So like there's a minimum buy-in. There's a dealer territory and that kind of stuff. I think they're one of the few that has a really solid dealer support program. They focus a lot on dealer to dealer. But it's hard to talk about brands. Because like if you want a real good take on brands, you have to speak to people that live with those brands or have lived with them. That's one reason I really like the group. Because I can't try them all and live with them all, and I wouldn't want to. I like to know how film stacks up, but...
It's off.
Yeah, the customer's up there. I don't know. He must have shut it off. Rock Rose? They're just another cheap brand. I'm surprised they've got as much attention. I guess I shouldn't be that surprised. But it's like when everybody asked about Tint X, or when they were Lexan, now they're like UV Ron. It's like they're especially not for me. All right, where's our door cover? How do I keep contamination down when bottom feeding? We had one yesterday. I was probably wrapped up with stuff. Guess I'll grab another one. And then we'll just open a bunch of them until we find them all. Contamination down when bottom feeding. I don't do it that much. It's just, you gotta watch where the film is dragging. You leave it propped back away from the door, If it's dragging against the top, it's gonna get filthy. But if you squeegee it clean and keep it away from the very top, it's not gonna get dirty. I've thought a lot about testing films, coming up with a program and stuff. On the one hand, I think it'd be really cool if you had like a whole database of different films and colors and clarity and numbers and stuff like that. It could be like a really honest, like price to performance and clarity and whatever, and help people make some decisions that way. But it'd be an awful lot of work. And in the end, I don't think people, I think some people would care, and then people would end up just using what they're gonna use anyways. A lot of people like see a price and they want somebody to just give it a stamp of approval. But the question I want answered more is how long is a particular film going to actually last, and that's a very hard thing to test for. You do some generic weather testing on it. But you're never really going to know how long film's going to last on a car until you put it on a car and wait a number of years, and then whatever problems happen, then the manufacturer's like, oh yeah, we had a bad batch years ago. We fixed that. It's good now. And everybody's like, oh, well, they said it's good. And life goes on. Do you recommend I switch to top load? It's always good to try both. Bottom loading's by far the easier. Like, tinting is just not easy. Bottom loading is the easiest way to install. Especially when you don't have much space like this one. Look at that. Do you get slow days? What does it look like? Oh yeah, absolutely. We've had slow months. It looks like people sitting around. No, we actually do other things. Not services, but we have other projects. So we're a tool distributor, and we're also a software company. Go figure. And then we make tools, like over there. So I don't know. I just have a lot of other things to keep me busy too. We added oh man, our scheduling app is super fucking cool now. It's not just scheduling, it's phone calls and SMS and like automating some stuff too. What do you think about bottom loading tools? They can definitely be helpful, but you're just gonna run into vehicles where they don't work as well because the seals are super tight. Because you're trying to wedge a piece of metal in there and pry back on that panel. So they can especially help you like bottom load stuff that have seals in them and you would otherwise have to remove the seal. And then there's the, like I said, the tight seal trade-off. I feel like after watching you, a big peel board is a waste of money. You can use, I don't know why more people don't just use the car. So I like using a peel board to like trim corners and stuff like that. And I have a 6-foot frame over there. We just got to get a piece of glass for. That'll be a rolly one. So we can finally have one over there and one over here. But I was mobile for so long, and the way that I learned was just like peeling right off of the car. There's absolutely nothing wrong. Like your mobile glass board is literally the outside of the window that you're tinting. It's the right shape. It's there. Interested in taking the one-day class, and I have a question. Is there anything I need to bring? If you have particular tools that you like to use, bring them. You can bring whatever you want. You can even work on your own vehicle if you want to. But you get to pick and choose what you want to work on that day. So if you want more like heat shrinking, reverse rolling, flat glass practice, crash course, like you get to work with an instructor for the day. But yeah, we have all the tools that you would need. But if there's anything in particular that you like to use, since you already tint, definitely bring it. It's definitely slow for me, but it's getting better. It's been wicked cold. Record lengths of cold temperatures. It'll warm up. That's kind of what the winter does, though. You always want to plan for year-round, though, because you'll get so busy in the summertime, and then it'll taper off, and you have weeks that'll just like randomly pick up and slow back down. So we've been running ads since last year. We have a funnel that they go through. Leads are taken care of really quickly once they message us. We automated a lot of that. The system that we put together, we're gonna start including video quotes too, which I think might help. So when somebody fills out a lead form, you respond with a neat little like infographic type of thing with like the prices and whatnot. It's always best to call the leads, but something I'm gonna play around with is literally filming a short video. Like, hey, thanks for reaching out. This is where we're gonna tint your vehicle, or these are the different film options that we have. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And then include that with a quote. So then when they open the quote, they get a nice pretty visual of the shop and what we're like. You could just do that in SMS too. I wonder if we can do one live. Where's my Quarter Pro? Oh, what the heck? I found yesterday's. I had yesterday's Quarter Pro. Here's today's quarter. It'll still work. Why is it so foggy? What's foggy? Do we need to wipe off the camera? How do you know how much to snap shrink a window? Oh, it's trying to, so the film is really dark. It's 5. So like if we're looking straight through it, see, like watch it adjust. See how dark that window is, and then we go down and then everything like exposes. We stand back a little bit. That's how dark that window is. So sometimes that happens. I'll wipe off the lens. Camera 1. And then we still have to wipe off the outside. Do you ever tell people to wash their cars before coming in? No. No, we take care of that. That kind of stuff never bugs me. Glass cleans up super fast. I mean, if your truck was mudding, that's different. But that's like an extreme limit. Like yesterday's car was covered in a lot of salt and road grime. Easy to work with. But if it was an issue, I'd take a pressure washer and just blast it off before I pulled it over here. But at our price point, there's always like, you either put the burden on the customer or you deal with it yourself. And I think there's just a lot of things like that. It's like, my concern is just getting somebody here. So whatever I can do to make that a little bit easier is well worth it. Don't worry about washing your car. That's why you're paying for a tint service. We'll take care of it. Is C2 Carbon your best seller? With these past 2 appointments, yeah. Typically it's been C2 Ceramic or Apex. I haven't tinted in a while, and I got a car with rain guards. It's annoying. Rain guards are still always annoying. I miss tinting windows. How much do you charge for a carbon sedan? So like this one, $299 for all the sides and the rear. Coupe would be the same price. SUV, same price. Just like anything that's all sides and rears, unless it's like a transit van or something way more difficult, we just start everything there. There will be a small amount of material difference from one to another. A lot of the time frames are going to be pretty similar. But it's very normal to charge a little different one to the next. Tint install kit? Oh, fuck. Ah, what was that? Oh, I don't think I've ever done that. Yikes. I just dragged my thumb against the blade. That was stupid. I didn't do it on purpose. It just like got stuck on something and then my thumb just ripped along it. That's gonna be annoying. I get tint cuts way more than I ever just run my finger along a blade. Hospital. No, I just gotta take care of this. I need a sacrificial rag. A tint install kit not online. The only place that you're going to be able to find anything, super glue it shut. I don't think I just bought some, but it's at home. It's not here. We got Band-Aids, I'll use one. Otherwise, this is it's so annoying. Yeah, seal guard. We'll do something. Hang on. I want to finish this corner first, but I guess not. Hey, we got the Band-Aids over there?
Oh, we got a bleeder?
Yeah, fun one. Just bring these. I got an ouchie boo-boo. So we're going 5 on the sides instead of 15. I mean, I had 5 for 5 minutes. I ended up putting 15 on instead. Are these like sealed? So it just depends. Oh no. God, it starts so fast. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. It's just a blade cut. It doesn't hurt. It's annoying because it's just gonna bleed really fast. What kind of big ass Band-Aid to like little? Three, 2, 1. Okay, that helps. I don't understand this though. That question is tough to answer, because like five is five. Five's really dark, and there's just gonna be times that you're driving and it's gonna be really tough to see. And then there's gonna be people that love five and like, oh, I never have a problem seeing out of it. No, five is dark. I think if there was a 10, it would be like a sweet spot. Let me do one more. See, these ones you can open. How many heat gun burns? I got a few. This one right here. See that? That was definitely one that I had not too long ago. Gonna do one more. I'm just gonna keep it snug. Okay, I think it would be pretty good for now. That's a real red dot now. There we go. I guess we should have used a plotter today. Now I'm gonna see all the times that I have to use my right thumb, which is often. Yeah, like that. Dark tint's nice, for sure. 5 I always feel like is just one of those shades, personally. Like, it's super popular. But, personally, it's just too dark for me. Somebody asked earlier about snap shrinking. Like, can you snap shrink too much? How do you know how much you need to do? Yes, you can definitely do it too much. The way you want to look at it is you're just putting tension along the bottom and getting it to just grab down to the window. So what that looks like on the other side, because we still have a couple more windows, I have these fingers that need to be shrunk. So I want to make sure those completely go away. And I'm just going to put a nice curl along the bottom and a little bit more along this area, because that's where that curve really is. And then see how a lot of those fingers just disappeared? And if I see any more, I'm gonna pick it back up. I'm just gonna shrink it a little bit farther. But you can always wet check it. So we can always continue to shrink it. Can't really unshrink it. So I can spray underneath it, squeegee it, see how it lays down. But how it lays down on the outside is gonna be how it also lays down on the inside. So like wet checking it is like simulating installation as best you can. So if we spray it, put our piece of film here, ta-da! I got a couple small fingers right here. So I'm gonna shrink that as well. A little snap here. Or you could just shrink that little finger, that's fine too. And then boom, you're done. Does Tintly have a menu that helps create advertising images? No. There's a lot of image services and even GPT, you can just ask and get something. I still find a lot of AI images is like, sometimes you get what you want on the first go, and then every time you try and change what it spat out the first time, it just gets worse. So you kind of have to start over again. I tried to do stage one of the Civics, but I couldn't because of the front. They're definitely tighter. There's just enough room to do it. But I wouldn't say it's super fun. Any advice on fingers that pop up at the base of the windshield? Lays great on the outside. There's something there that you need to adjust, because fighting any of them on the base of the back window or the windshield, my suggestion would be, if you're not, you should be, but shrink the window, trim it to size, and then just touch up the top and the bottom. And then you shouldn't have fingers popping out. It's always possible to get like something small. I'll generally see something more on the sides than I ever will the top or the bottom. But yeah, pick up the film again for a double shrink. Yeah, just like, you can pick it up and shrink it a little bit tighter, but when you trim it, there we go. When you trim a window, the top and the bottom, like there's film there that got cut off that was shrunk also. And so like your shrink was connected to that. So you need to just tighten that up. The past couple years, search engines do that too. Search glasses hard case on Amazon, maybe 20 out of 150. 20 out of 150 were hard cases. Search is kind of a cluster right now with all the AI stuff. I mean, YouTube search is real weird because it'll show you like 3 to 5 videos that you actually were searching for, like titles, and then it'll start just going back to your recommended feed. And you're like, no. Please don't do that. I booked the 1-day class. Do you pick the day you attend after you paid for? No, it should be while you're picking it. Like it says select dates, and then there's a calendar pops up, and then you pick the date that shows available. Do you think the tint industry has too many tools? Nah. I mean, I definitely think there's some gimmicky stuff. We pretty much exclusively carried the stuff that I used early on. Like if I didn't use it, we didn't carry it. There's people that just have a lot of personal preferences. So in the beginning, there's definitely people that'll over prepare. And yeah, you don't need that many tools. But there's always these little things that can help make a particular thing easier. It's cool. It's more cool to me that everything has grown, I think, past where I really ever considered it going. I mean, there's like the tint events. There's quite a few every year. It's like, it's a big deal to be able to pull somebody out of the shop to go somewhere, and all those things have just been growing. It's like, oh shit. Like, tint's niche, but I think it's a pretty massive niche. Yeah, this is my business. Yeah, tinter battles for sure. They're doing another one in the fall now. stay in there. There we go. Next Plus, I don't know what it is. Pull that off. Next Plus is a film company. Yeah, I haven't heard of them. Heard of Next Fill. I think they're a manufacturer out of California, but not sure about Next Plus. For one sedan, remove and retint, how long will it take? Depends more on the removal than anything. Generally, a removal is going to be a couple hours. Some films will just fall off the window. Some, no. Camera 3. It's nano ceramic, the highest tint quality. Yeah, ceramic is going to be the best performing films. It's a layer ceramic inside of a film that helps absorb heat. So rather than just, it's a filter, rather than just letting infrared go straight through, gets absorbed into that ceramic. How do you read comments? I have a headset in text-to-speech, or I have a couple big TVs. Rolls-Royce, yeah, I've done a couple. It's been a long time though. And they were older. We typically don't get your like high-end cars, like high-end, like supercars. And to be honest, I'd much rather tint a Civic than a Rolls-Royce. I know how my day's gonna go with a Civic. I do not know how it's gonna go with a Rolls-Royce. There's just a certain, like, is it cool? Yeah, but there's a certain level of stress that comes with that because it's a responsibility to not damage anything. And you can try and not damage something and then water gets somewhere, or hey, that exotic material is just very touchy and oh look, a little bit got wet. Now you're paying for a very unique material that, oh, that comes from overseas and that's one of one. My order is 32765. And I want to thank you. I'm getting better because of your vids. Oh, that's super nice. Thank you. Did that ship? Did you ship? Can you look up one? 32765 and just see if it shipped. Or if it was a while ago, I have no idea. What's that? Oh, it's packed? Oh, he just said thank you. Yeah, what did he say? He said, okay. I'm gonna sneak a couple in here. There's room. Hopefully they stay. I just started learning how to tint. I finally got decent, and I can't find clients. I need advice. That's a bitch of it, isn't it? Honestly, the thing that made the biggest difference for us is just running ads. Ads give you more leads. So you have your free things, obviously, that you can do. Social media and whatnot. Like, there's always chances you're gonna get more customers. But when everybody's doing a thing, it makes it that much harder for you to stand out and come up with something unique. But running ads, I feel like is well worth it. There's some people that would be like, you're only gonna break even, blah, 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 blah. It really depends on your price point. I think we spend $1,000 a month on Google ads, like total. And typically if we land 3 jobs off of that, like that would be 3 low paying jobs. You still use Union for ads? Yeah, and I honestly, like, I love what they've done. I want to still change. Ooh. Ooh. I mean, we had an old Tylenol somewhere. Hang on. Ah! Dude, I don't even know. There you go. Yeah, I said old. I said old. What year?
23.
Oh, 23. I think I took it this year. Or last year. Ended last year. I said it was old. But I didn't think it was that old, though. Yeah, the only thing I want to tweak about Union is the funnel. I overthink that kind of stuff, though. I would like to tweak the funnel, and I would like to. So we have our quotes automated, and I can tell you, after running those for a year, you'll definitely book people, but you won't book as many as handling them yourself. But it takes a lot of time to go through each one because every lead is very repetitive. So there's part of that process that I feel like should be automated. And then that last little bit in the quote, talking to a customer, it'd be best handled in a phone call. But what I'm gonna try to, just to see how it works, is we're gonna have our leads come in, and then I will film a short video when I can. So like we'll quote it similarly. Like we have a nice pretty page that will get sent. Here's your quote. And then on that page near the top will be a unique video. It'll be a how to tint video. No, I'll just say, hey, thanks for reaching out. My name is And then here's our films. This is our place. Let us know if you have any questions. And I just want to see how those do. I hate phone calls. Phone calls are like, there's people that are good in sales and like doing phone calls. I hate doing phone calls. Camera 2. I think as soon as we get our phone number, that's when I'll have it switched over. Should be pretty soon. Which backpack sprayer? I have a tint buster. If I were to buy another one, I'd buy a tint buster. Did you see? There's this big post not long ago. Guy posted a DIY way of making a backpack sprayer, which has happened well more than once. And then the competitor to Tint Buster private messaged the guy with a ChatGPT cease and desist. Like, take down this post. This violates our patent, blah, 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 blah. They got lit up for that one. That shit was funny, though. Answer my question. Do you think sun control films have longer future because it's... What? Do you think sun control films have longer future because it's getting banned in many areas and car companies are giving slightly tinted windows? Oh, like, do I think window tinting is going away anytime soon? No. Doesn't matter that it's been against state laws for so long and it's only gotten more popular. There's certain guidelines in states, like Michigan is fine as long as you have a doctor's note. You can go as dark as you want. Or you can go as dark as you want in the rear. Some states are a lot more strict, and yeah, that's gonna impact how many people actually get it done. But out of all the car services, PPF, vinyl, window tint, it's all just growing. I was surprised to hear PPF was growing the fastest. I was out of touch with that one. Live in SoCal, they don't really enforce tint. Yeah, and that's why it's become even more popular. Is it just depends on where you are. There's lots of areas where they just don't care. They have other things to worry about. You know, some places will crack down on it harder. But if anything, it's gotten way more socially acceptable. Especially with ceramics. Hearing that you can tint a vehicle very light and have it still matter, that changed window films, which is super cool. Makes it more about safety. Safety and comfort than privacy. And tinting a sunroof is 35 geo safe to put on there? Yeah, absolutely. Sunroofs are such a weird myth. You can tint them. There's a couple situations where I don't think it's worth tinting. So like a lot of the EVs that don't have a pull shade for the sunroof, they have some type of ceramic in there already, because otherwise it's just an open glass roof and your customers are just baking. So of course the manufacturers did something for their clients. So if somebody called with a Model 3 and was like, hey, I want to put ceramic on my sunroof, I'd tell them it's like, sure, we could do it, but it's probably not going to make a huge difference. What will make a difference is a reflective film that'll help throw the heat away rather than absorb more. But your average sunroof, yeah, go nuts. You can put whatever you want on it. One thing that's always bugged me is how TikTok's made ceramics sound magical, one-way see-through, and I explain to customers, they get unmotivated. Yeah, I don't know what the word is. But the shops that that don't mind being misleading will really lean into that. Because they'll say like, oh yeah, it'll keep your car cool, it'll do all this, and yeah, we got that, like they'll just agree with the customer, and yes, 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 and then the customer will get it. But the one caveat, and that's a good word, about that is that's how all films work, and I don't think we realize just how much a customer doesn't understand that. So we just will take any tint for granted. Like it doesn't have to be ceramic. It's just darker on the outside and it's clearer on the inside. Because that's just how tint works. It doesn't have to be ceramic. So you can kind of lean into that some and say, well, it's not ceramic specifically, but if you just have a good high quality film, which we carry, we can absolutely do that for your vehicle. Because there's genuinely people that think if I can't see you, you can't see me. So they see a car that's wrapped in limo, I can't see into it. They think it's that dark. And the person that's driving can't see anything. I learned that from the TikTok comments. Because they think whatever it is on the outside is the way it is on the inside. Caveat. I think that's a word I would have taken longer to try and spell. It's just funny. It's just, you guys ever have those words that you forget how to spell them? And then you spell them so wrong that even autocorrect doesn't correct them for you? Like autocorrect's like, I don't even know what you're trying to say. Like, shit. I had no clue the spelling. That makes me feel so much better. Because I looked at it and it was like, caveat. My text-to-speech was just caveat. It's like, oh yeah, that's probably it. I probably would have sat on that one for a minute. There's here and there where I have to actually Google search what I'm trying to type. But is what you're saying that the customers don't like words, the words heat absorbing, or they don't like that nano isn't see-through from outside? I'm trying to understand that a little bit. I don't know what customers like or don't, but like when you start talking, you always need to figure out a way to dumb everything down in a way that's just like very practical and it's easy to click and understand. Otherwise, like whatever you say just goes like straight over their head. So as soon as you start getting technical, like if somebody's like, yeah, I want ceramic because it keeps my car cooler. And you're like, well, actually it absorbs into the glass and then that dissipates off the car. It's just that like their eyes will just glaze over. They're just nod and go, oh, okay. That's why a heat box is so cool. Because you show them a heat box, it's like, this is what that film does. Oh, that's sick. So the more that you can talk to a customer in a way like that, the better. So we know ceramic is not the reason why it looks light on the inside, dark on the outside. It's just from having a nice film. But somebody made it seem otherwise, and then, hey, I get more ceramic film sales if I lean into this. So that's what they did. But you can try and just frame it somewhere in between. It's just like, well, it's like you could say something. I don't have an exact. I'd have to think about it a little bit more because I don't really get asked about it. But something along the lines of, yeah, it's just like from having a good film, which we have. We have lots of good films, so you don't necessarily need to go all out with ceramic, but we have options that'll absolutely give you the look that you're going for, and it'll be easy to see through. And that's what they really want. But you will have those people, like I just saw a post in our group. A customer wanted, they're like, I want a high-end film, like 3M or XPEL. And so he got quoted for, they had what, I think 3 or 4 different films. And they quoted them, 3M ceramic was one of them, and it was $700. And they're like, I think I'm gonna look around, thanks. It's like, that's a person that just wants to be told, yes, 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 yes. Yes, we'll give you a Bugatti and you'll only pay the price of a Kia. Time to see how you 2-stage these. Yeah, I mean, they're not super tight here, so I get enough room. But that's what that front edge looks like. I just kind of fold it up. $700 sounds like a good price. Yeah, actually. But if you're just, people, like my reply to that one is like, there's just people that live in knockoff land. Like, I'll go buy a Louis bag in a back alley somewhere for $50. Is it legitimate? No. Does it look like one? Yes. Are they happy? Yes. So they just want any film on their car and put a 3M stamp on it, and yep, that's 3M. Okay, great. The guy said it was 3M. What kind of squeegee is the gray handle with the paint? Ooh, that's the reach around. Probably gonna just rename it back to the slim grip. I'll show you in a sec. Oh, we make those here actually. Does Detroit have tornado sirens? Yeah. I haven't heard one in a while. But what is it? Like the first Saturday of every month, they do a test. I think that's how it goes at like 1 o'clock. I don't think I've heard one of those in a long time. Yeah, we called it the reach around. Look at that. But yeah, we actually make those right over there now. Reach around is great. That was Mark's idea. But there's a fusion handle, and they called it the hand job. And so like, I just thought it was funny. Was it 3D printed? Yes, but like a different way. It's not like the machines that hot glue out the filament. It's a resin machine. So this guy over here, and it does it layer by layer. That's cool. So the materials overall are a lot better, like stronger. The handles we got in a store, 313tint.com. Oh yeah, I forget that I have it right here. Look at that. There. Screenshot that. I wonder if I can change this without bleeding all over the place. Or if I should just finish the car. Okay, so we got all the doors done. We got the back we have to do. And the quarters. And then we're gonna do a sun strip. Ow. Oh, I just had one yesterday. Oh, it's here. Here we go. There's no perfect job, but how many dots are acceptable? That is up to the customer. Because the size of the dot and where that dot is can be the problem. So it might only have one dot, but it might be something that is right in the middle of a windshield. And if it was in the lower corner, it wouldn't be a problem. So it's just tough to say. There's like some IWFA spiel, but what you really have is a customer that wants a situation fixed. So like you do the best you can. I just hit an X5 and left my seal guard on the roof. Oh shit. I hope it didn't bounce off and hit another car. But as far as dots go, like, do the best job that you can. You always want to get the impression of that job is perfect. So, like, damn, that looks really good. And then if you want to, like, there's probably an imperfection, but you really got to, like, hunt for it, right? That's what you always want your jobs to look like. And so if you're not trying to stick your nose to the glass, you're really never going to see any issues with it. So, but if there's longer lines like a crease or a hair, or clusters of specks, that's usually when something's very wrong. Not every customer is going to notice it or have a problem with it, but on average, you're going to have more comebacks at that. I would hear situations too. Like if somebody's bringing back a vehicle and they have an issue with it and it's really not very big, it's still worth trying to take care of. If you can do it with a little explainer, you can say like, I'm so sorry about that. We try and do as good of a job as we can. Not everything's going to be perfect, but we'll definitely try and make that look better. And just go through the effort of trying to fix it. That at least shows your customer that you're not just trying to like, hey, I got your money, now get out of my life. Because there's a lot of tinners that'll do that. They just won't take care of a situation. Even like, then the customer feels shrugged off. They're unhappy and yeah, they go away, but they never come back. Can you show how to pull shrink? Yeah, I'll do it along the top. My trunk's in the way on the bottom here. Pull shrinking is just putting a little tension and flattening out the film. It's just to heat evenly over a wider area. So like anytime you lift the film off of the glass, it'll shrink very quickly. So you don't have that glass that's sucking away a bunch of heat. But it's hard to see. So, thing to keep in mind is if my heat gun is like this far away from my hand, right? Like within an inch, but I'm moving it very quickly, my hand is slowly getting hotter, but I'm not burning myself yet. If I'm here and going slow, it's kind of like the same thing, but you want to just adjust your speed and your distance to where, like, if I get it really close and I'm moving fast, I can't really see it shrinking very much, but I'm sure I'm so close that it has to be shrinking some. So I'm just putting some tension on it, going over it, and that's shrunk. See all these tight waves there? You really know how much you shrink it after you let go of it. So you're guessing a little bit in the beginning, but you get used to where the temperature is, like how hot and how much heat is hitting that film. But I used to think, like, it took me a long time to understand pole shrinking. I just shrunk fingers and pressed them down. Oh, and one little thing on top of that is film after it gets hot and you pull the heat gun away can continue to shrink some. So keep an eye on what the film's doing afterwards. Like if you get it really hot, move the heat gun away, you'll see it melt down to the window still. So sometimes you'll shrink it up to where you need it, but it'll continue to shrink a little bit more and have even more tension than you want it to have. Where's my, there it is. Glass 8's good, but seeing it through 5 is a little tricky. Gonna do that, quarter windows, and then we'll put a sun strip on it. So after we trim out our pattern, I'm still gonna go back over the top and bottom. You can lift it. I'll just take a heat gun and go over it, but if you wanna lift it a little bit, it's not gonna hurt anything. But these, you'll just have some little spots. And some will be worse than others. It depends on like how evenly you shrink it. Because if you just put a lot of heat or pointing a heat gun at it and you didn't quite shrink it very well, you're gonna see bigger fingers pop up afterwards. But just take a heat gun, tighten up that top and bottom. 3 and 3 gift cards would be pretty good. We probably should just add them back then. Dude, it was weird. It was a customer though. It just freaked me out. Somebody, they were confused, but I also thought like, hey, I wonder how many people run some type of scam buying gift cards. I have no idea. But we had a customer for the shop. He bought like $600 in gift cards from the store, But it was just like we were out at Target. And we had put the gift cards in like a week ago. And then all of a sudden it's just like, why did somebody just buy $600 in gift cards? And so I just like, no, let's take out the gift cards. But we can do digital ones. Okay. You should do a meme coin. Tint coin. If we did Tint coin would probably catch some traction. People would probably put $5 into it. And we'd profit a whole of $10. Let's go. Okay, so those are sewn into the seats. Where is... Does it go on the inside? It does, and it will. We just got to get to that point. We're not quite there yet. But hang tight. We'll get there. I'm going to put this here. So I'm going to stay. Where'd you get your torque bit screwdriver? This was an LTT. If you search LTT store, they're a big YouTube channel. They made an awesome screwdriver. Okay, what else do we need? They have these cool, here, I'll show you real quick. They have these really cool transparent, and they just added some colors. But these are super nice. Oh, a Slim Slam. I think a Slim Slam is what I need. That'll help. Sorry, it's a little bit harder to see what's going on here. But it's very difficult to try and keep a neck mount on and stuff myself in here. So I'm just gonna get this one done. What size is for a rear view mirror? T20 and a Phillips. There's no point in having a very nice ratcheting screwdriver. I just like the channel, and they made a very nice screwdriver. What is your knowledge on Tint X? It's just a cheaper Korean film as far as I know. People like it because it's cheap. It's just not ever worth me risking using to save a couple bucks on film. So I've seen a few in person. I think the Pure Max was the only one that was all right as far as just like clarity and usability. Everything else was like hazy. But I haven't looked at it in a while. I think it's good for practice. I don't know if I'd offer it to customers. Yeah, the carbon's not too bad. It just doesn't, it's not very shrinking friendly for early on in your tinting career, which even makes it kind of hard to recommend as a training film. But doors would be fine with it. Like, I get trying to keep expenses down, I really do. But film is just one of those things where, like, if you're using a decent film, it doesn't cost you that much more per car. But a lot of installers just look at a roll cost. Oh no, don't do that. Little corner. Did you get nervous with a sweater? Nah. I mean, it's a little, I was gonna take it off and then next thing I know, I'm carrying the film in. If anything, it just feels stuffy. But I was mobile for a long time. A lot of cold places. Tinted for a lot of shops that just didn't know how to keep a garage door shut in the wintertime. Or their heaters set at 50 degrees. Okay, a little bit of water that we gotta push out. Pretty good. I can see it better. Oh, I hate that. I don't run into that too often. The paneling, like you hand cut your pattern almost perfectly with the edge of the pillar. So then you put a little pressure on the pillar and then it pushes against the window and flips the corner back up. Oh, I got a little air pocket. And that's it. That little guy. But I just got to be careful about putting pressure right against there. Because it's tucked just like slightly behind it, but we're good. Good. That went well. All right, quarter windows. Do you have to shrink all windows? I would look at it like yes. You absolutely have to? No. But back windows, yes. Windshields, yes. Door windows, for the most part, yes. Some people are going to say, well, not if you pull the seals. And yes, that's true. Some of them you do, and some of them you don't. But if you're brand new, I would learn how to shrink. Because somebody's going to say, I don't shrink like 99% of my doors. And then somebody's going to take that and try. And they're going to be like, well, why do I get a bunch of fingers? Okay, film from the back. This is perfect for those quarters. We're gonna do both. We can do both sides off of this. All right, so that's one side. Oh, the blades in the floor? Oh, they just go underneath. The 1-inch razor blades, yeah, I pick those up, but all the little snap ones, they fall in between the floor. And then they just stay there. And then maybe in a couple years when we move out, we'll have to clean up the 1,000 blades that are in there. But it is not this day. Left my Slim Slam in a customer car? Oh, that sucks. That's no fun. Oof. You know the worst thing I ever left in a customer's car? It was a Crown Vic. And they had those third brake lights that needed a screwdriver on the sides. And I didn't have a Phillips screwdriver. I left a pink screwdriver in the car by mistake. And I remember this so well because it wasn't my screwdriver. It was a special edition Snap-on set of breast cancer awareness screwdrivers. And this was probably the most OCD guy that I ever worked with. And he'd love to remind me about opening up his toolbox and seeing all his screwdrivers except for that one. It's like, can't replace it. Can't just get him another Snap-on screwdriver. He doesn't want that. He wants that screwdriver. Rip. Customer left, tried calling him a bunch of times, didn't answer the phone. Like, yep, he's never coming back. Damn it. Oh, that sucks. Okay, so we gotta remember liner side facing this way right now. I'm gonna redo this window. I'll show you why. There's a little dust right here. I guess I could crush it better than I thought. But there's definitely like a little piece of dust in there. I saw it as I was squeegeeing it out. So it's just easier to recut this in 2 seconds. What's your streaming setup? iPhone to my computer. And then the computer streams. And then I have some security cameras that watch me. There it is. Round 2. Cross your fingers. I don't see it this time. Worth it. Those are the best. Quick fix. All right, let's do the other side. We have a pattern for it. Then we gotta do a windshield strip. And I hope this is gonna line up. I did the windshield strip in software, but it's my windshield strip. I missed the answers, the reach around 3D printed at your shop. Yeah, but it uses a different style. We have a really nice resin machine. And so it's not just like a simple filament printer. You can do some way cool stuff off of those things. But a lot of the materials just aren't very strong. They're getting better. But I wanted something that you could like try and snap with your hand and not be able to do it. So like this is fucking strong. So if you do manage to snap one of these, you're putting way more pressure than you ever should. So it's that setup over there. Ooh, it looks nice. I like it. But yeah, when all the, so we're a tool supplier, when all the tariffs and stuff, it's like all over the news, we honestly don't get very many things from overseas. We carry a lot of Fusion, Tri-Edge. Pro Tools, those are all made in the US, like legitimately. And so we only have a handful of things that are sourced from overseas. But what I really got me looking into was like small scale manufacturing. Like what could we do here? What are the perks of going to GeoShield's Tint School, and do you ever happen to go since you have GeoShield film? Oh, we're a Geo distributor. I had classes here before they had classes there. But last I looked, they have a 5-day course. They'll teach you a lot and hook you up with a lot of stuff at the end of it. So what you get is supplies and knowledge. If you're looking into, like we run classes still here too. But if you're looking to get into tinting, it's worth it to just get film, get tools, see how you like it, and then see if it's worth taking a class. But I caution people from just taking a class without ever having gotten film or tools or trying it themselves, because it can be very different from what it looks like. You'll learn a lot. It'll speed you up. Classes are really, really helpful. They will not make you into a tinter, though. Okay, so if I go to vehicles, I have an option. I can pick this visor here, and then this one goes right to the line, so I can just pick this one. I'm gonna add that. But one thing I did too is I clicked on the windshield and I took this one with a cutout. And if I go to my cut board, I learned this not too long ago. You can click on this semicircle called cut down, and you'll get a line. But you can take that line and click, and then you can drag this and make your own windshield strip anywhere on the windshield that you want with any type of contour. So if you feel like this cutout isn't quite right, just make your own. So I made one here, and I want to see how it goes. But they do have this one, which is very similar to this one. Mine's gonna line up right there on the very edge, so I'm gonna see how this one goes. We have a 36-inch roll. We can spin this and save a little bit of film, stack them like this. We should be good. Just click cut. But I had core for a long time and I didn't know that. So I'll bring it up anytime. Anytime I do one of these for sure. Because if you have core, man, that's such a helpful little thing. Our tinter's born not taught. You know, some act like it. The way some of the longtime tinters talk to other people is like, good God, man. So much arrogance. It's tinting. Take pride in your work, but don't be an ass to other people. Okay, so it did cut. It's just, it's just such a fine point. Nice. Okay, so this is drivers. Does it fit? That's the question. It's close. Yeah, it'll fit. I think. Or should it have been wider? Oh, no, it just barely fits. I like that. That's cool. Oh, man, that is like by a smidge, though. See, why they gotta make them so tight? I don't know what it is about the windshields. We're gonna do one more. I think we put it right about there. Let's do one thing I noticed about this cut tool too is that like it lines these up. See how it jumps? It like skips by like quarter of an inch, quarter of an inch, quarter of an inch. So sometimes it's, you kind of have to guess up here in order to get it there, and then I can't tweak this. But I like that. I like that look. Oh, I got rid of it. Shit. That was right about here. Enter. Cut. Oh, cut. Literally cut. Okay, that makes sense. Split. Oh yeah, I want to split it. Split it right here. Oops. Grab it. There's this one. There we go. Oh yeah, and I wanted to do one more thing. Easy edit. And we're gonna apply this one, and then apply. So I just extended it just a little bit wider. And then we're gonna recut it. Back to watching the background because I love this work ethic. Thank you. I appreciate that.
A little hard to hear. My glasses kind of darkened up. I had some shots in my eyes, so I was kind of figured I tried to knock it. Otherwise, guys are like right here.
Good, how are you?
Yeah, I like your videos.
Oh, thank you. We're doing one right now, actually.
They're pretty cool. So, right. Yeah, I'm Mark. Yeah. So, initial processing, I'll get some other information stuff that we've done. Just kind of messing around with some vertical tint and stuff like that. Instead of watching the videos, so you guys are on there. You're all over the place. Yeah, other than Matt. Matt. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, we sell film on the website. It just comes from. Okay, got it. Yeah, I'll look for the website. Yeah, we're here.
I bet you TikTok stopped. Oh, I forgot about that. I remembered yesterday. I didn't remember today. I think.
I don't know if we'd be looking to change. I'll give you my 2-minute elevator sheet. Okay. We all use the same warehouse, the same places. So what I do is I broker with Payrock, Pay North American Bank, PPG. So I take a look at what you're currently doing. When I look at what you guys are currently doing, I give you proposals, shoot it off to you guys, and let you know exactly what they want. I'm not telling you guys to switch with them, but I just did an option out here. Once I do that proposal,
If I were to practice on my own, how long should I tint? How long should the tint set for to know if I did a good job so I can start again?
because I'm willing to take part of it, usually I come back to us, and I share back to your company, because if you're successful, guess what? I get things from you too. So it's pretty simple, process, but it just depends how much you like the money.
But if I were to practice on my own vehicle, so on your own vehicle or any vehicle. No. Or I do. I kind of have a business card. Huh? Oh, a new credit card? No, not really. Okay, so what were we talking about? We were talking about speckles. You probably the first time it helps to just let it dry for a day, and then you can see all the speckles and really know. But you can see the dirt right away. Any bumps in the film, that's dirt. There's generally your first time, there's going to be a lot of it. Unfortunately. But the dirt will kind of sit inside, or the water will sit inside the little like area. The dirt makes like a small little tent. And so it just kind of masks it and makes it a little bit harder to see, but you kind of bob your head around, you can definitely see it. Any tips to remove those annoying bubbles at the bottom when applying tint? My bulldozer is too big to swipe it out. What car? I use a bulldozer all the time. I'll use a side swipe sometimes, or a slim slam, or a slimmer one would be a, it's in my toolbox, tail fin.
Hey, Matt, good to see you. It's kind of nice to see you. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, good to see you too. Okay, the question is, why did this just freeze? There we go. Now it's loose. I like that. That's better. Right past the AS1 line. So I'm going to leave that one there. I'm going to quickly do the other side. And then I can make sure that they're both lined up. But any tips on removing those annoying bubbles at the bottom? Yeah, just from installation. Dude, bulldozer is like my go-to. And if a bulldozer doesn't fit, there's just very few situations it doesn't really fit. You just gotta get used to using one. But a tail fin's gonna help towards the lower area. Almost done. I forget, TikTok just does that thing where it puts up a capture cut and then stops if you don't catch it. Increases ick. We don't want it to decrease ick. Okay, so I'll tell you what you're doing wrong with the bulldozer. It catches because you're making it catch. You need to let it go, let it go. Can't bulldozer that shit anymore. With a bulldozer, it is a hook style at the end, but if you literally let go of the handle and push it up flatter towards the window, it'll slide right back out and not catch anything. But a lot of people have a tendency to hold it, push, and then leave it flexed against the window, and then just yank it right back up. You got one of those strips without a plotter? Not very easily. A contoured strip is way harder to do because it's really difficult to get that like perfect line. There we go. Now we can move it back. Let me grab that guy. Why is Lexan always rebranding? You know, I don't know for sure, but I have on good authority it's legal. And that's all I'll say about it. I don't know the nitty-gritty details. But I think some people were not being too nice to them. So I think they were forced or something like that. Film for polycarbonate. The only product that I've really heard of is blister free. It's expensive. And it's a film that will go clear and then you can put tint on top of it. I've never used it. I've never seen it work. I've just heard stories. Stacking tint, is it ideal? I don't think it's ever ideal, but there's generally not much of an issue with it. It's just you can't guarantee that there's not going to be an issue. So like if I have a vehicle that's done in a lighter shade, and they're like, damn it, I wish I went darker. Personally, I wouldn't have a problem with going over that with a darker shade. But let's say a couple doors started peeling. It's a hard thing to guarantee. Like then what? You're double tinting again, so it's got the same look, or you're putting one single shade and trying to get close again. Tint's not made to stick to tint, but just generally speaking, on my own car, if I were to do it, it'd be fine. I can live with it if I have an issue. You just don't know. What time is it? 1:14. All right. Wrapping up this one. I know we got one coming in tomorrow. I forgot what it is, but Thursday we definitely have an appointment. Okay. That turned out nice. It's definitely, I definitely like it more on the inside. Like, it's very nice that it actually just lines up. So it doesn't dip down really far in your field of view over here. I like that. Looks good. First day back. Been in the house all week. In 2 days for a winter storm. Oh, wow. That's a long time. Will you tint a Lambo? Yeah, if I get asked. I don't see why not. There's my green one. Guess we'll use this one. Cool. That should do it. Facebook Marketplace advertising. Yes, briefly, but for other stuff. Oh, wow. That's actually surprising. I thought it was bleeding really bad under there. It's not? How? Okay. Oh no, there it is. It's starting to. A little bit. We're going to keep that on. It was starting to fall off. Marketplace is a bunch of bargain shoppers. And Facebook doesn't really allow services. So you have to be careful with how you word things. And a lot of people have their posts removed. But I just... Google ads worth it. Meta ads worth it with the right creative. Marketplace, the sheer amount of people that you have to talk to, I don't think it makes it worth your time. Oh yeah, this goes here. I had an automated system years ago. It was a service called ManyChat, and you can kind of build your own message funnel. And so I was giving people starting pricing because there's so many people that'll just like waste your time. So it'll say like, hey, thanks for contacting us. And then they have like options that they can click through. So like, yes, I'm looking for a window tint, this vehicle type. And then at the end, it'll say, are you interested, or like it'll give them, starts at this, are you interested in scheduling an appointment? And if they said yes, then I would take over. Now we have a system that quotes everything through SMS. But we're gonna try doing something a little bit differently. So let me go to Tintly. This is what we use now. And I'm gonna go, let me just pick a day. Or no, I wanna send a quote. Actually, let's test this to see if this works. So we're gonna do it to me, and then we're gonna use phone number. We're gonna say this is for a 2026 Sienna. And then we just wanna do the front doors and the windshield. So here are our standard pricings. $100 deposit, I can change any one of these things, duration. But I included this handy little thing, and I wanna make sure this works. So if I click record now, it'll pop up the camera, hi. And then we can start recording a video that was actually gonna be included in the quote. And what's fun to me about this is that you can actually switch the camera, switch it back, you can do that handy pause, and then continue, which is something that the iOS camera doesn't do. But we would include this, and we click check, and then we can generate a quote. Copy link, and let me open this up. Can't use my hand. There we go. Just now we're loading a quote. Oh, did you see that? Here, let me get this a little closer. It's a little washed out. I'm refreshing. Look at that confetti. You see that? Hey, Matt, here's your quote. February 6th, 10 a.m. is the earliest that we have available, so that's this Friday. That's accurate. These are the different films that we have. And then there's your quote. Now the video is supposed to be right here. So I'm gonna see if maybe it is, oh, it's probably processing. Because that was fast. Let me double check here. I'm gonna go to my quotes. Leads and quotes. One video, view, open quote. Yeah, we're having a bug. It should include the video, but it didn't. So I'm gonna go see what that's about. But in the next live stream, I'm sure that'll be sorted. But from here, this is what the customer would see. And so I want them to be able to see a video of me at the top. Select their options, look at the different ones, click book now, pick the date that they're interested in, time, they can view everything. And then they click this button, and then they'll be taken to pay a deposit right then and there. So it's super easy to send quotes and cash people out and all that. How much was the whole service for this one? $375 for everything with the windshield strip on this one. So we did carbon all the way around, and then we did a windshield strip. Alrighty, well, I got some stuff that I'm gonna do. Thank you for hanging out today. We'll be back tomorrow with another one.